The dream of thousands of Qs, the roar, the colours, the return to Spotify Camp Nou is suddenly wrapped in both hope and question as Joan Laporta steps forward with a message that sounds promising but leaves the final word to bureaucrats. After 2 years away, the club's plan to step back into its historic stadium has been hoisted, postponed and rescheduled so many times that patience has frayed. Fans who marked late 2024 as a target saw that slip, those who dared to whisper about a May Classico felt their hopes ground down, and a planned Joan Gamper Day was even shelved, only to be cancelled again, leaving supporters to wonder whether the next official return date would hold. The most recent blow was practical and painfully visible. The Valencia home game that many assumed would be an emotional homecoming was moved to the Estadio Johan Cruyff because the licenses and permits needed to host a top-flight match at Camp Nou weren't in place. That move turned a planned celebration into another postponement, and it forced a question into the open. When will Barça really be home again? Laporta's response is both an attempt at reassurance and a stark reminder of where the real control sits. "We are now in the final stages of the stadium," he told club media, and he asked members and fans to keep their understanding, insisting that the project is the most important in the club's history and that they will soon return to our home. Those are powerful words. They carry the weight of optimism and of a promise from the club's highest office, but Laporta was honest enough to point out that he cannot name a precise date because the timing hinges on permits from the responsible authorities. In practical terms, that should read as, the construction and internal work might be complete, but the final administrative sign-offs, safety certifications, event licenses, municipal approvals are the final hurdle. That distinction matters because bricks and seats alone don't make a stadium match ready. The legal and regulatory stamp of approval does. The implications of that gap are wide. On the sporting side, playing at Camp Nou restores the familiar home advantage that can shift tight league battles and influences player morale. On the commercial side, every delayed match is lost matchday revenue, sponsor visibility and the economic lift surrounding home fixtures. Hotels, local businesses and the club's bottom line all feel it. On the emotional side, the sense of identity that a club regains when returning to its cathedral can't be overstated. For a generation of fans who have waited, every further delay chips away at trust. So what should fans expect next? First, watch for quick official communications from the club listing a confirmed date. Laporta made clear that the club is actively working on the process. Second, monitor municipal and regional authorities who must grant the permits. Their calendar and inspections will determine whether Laporta's final stages become a reality or a prologue to more waiting. Third, be prepared for contingency. Even with optimism, the club may choose a soft opening or phased return, small events or reduced capacities to satisfy both emotion and regulation. The narrative here is not just about construction timelines, it's about reputation. Laporta addressed criticism that the club has set deadlines that didn't match reality, and by inviting fans to keep their understanding, he signalled a recognition that promises must now be matched by official paperwork. If the permits are granted soon, the return will inject immediate momentum into Barca's season and be a symbolic reset after a rocky period. If not, the club risks another wave of disappointment that could amplify skepticism toward leadership and complicate scheduling and finances further. For those who live and breathe Barcelona, the image of Camp Nou filled again is a simple, almost sacred scene. Chance the smell of the turf, the sight of Blaugrana flooding the stands. That image is what Laporta is selling with his final stages line. The difference between a stirring homecoming and another postponement, though, will come down to signatures on permit forms and inspectors' checklists rather than speeches from the president. In the end, fans are left in a tense holding pattern. Hopeful because their president says the finish line is near, wary because recent history has taught them how fragile deadlines can be. The next official date, or the arrival of the necessary permits, will tell whether this is the final alarm before the gates open, or just one more chapter in a long story of delays. For Barca, the stakes are simple and enormous: sporting advantage, financial health, and the restoration of a home that defines them. And for the fans, the wait has become more than patience. It's a test of collective faith.